The Tuatha De Danann, people of the goddess Danu, are one of the most enigmatic groups in Celtic mythology. Often described as gods, supernatural beings, or even a highly advanced ancient race, they play a central role in Irish mythology, particularly in the Lebor Gabála Érenn, the Book of Invasions. According to legend, the Tuatha De Danann arrived in Ireland on a magical mist, bringing with them 4 sacred treasures: the Stone of Fall, which would cry out when a true king stood upon it; the Spear of Lugh, which always hit its mark; the Sword of Nuada, which could cut through any armor; and the Cauldron of Dagda, which provided endless sustenance. The Tuatha De Danann are associated with key figures like the Dagda, a father god wielding a massive club; Lugh, the skilled warrior and king; Bridget, the goddess of poetry, healing, and smithcraft; and the Morrigan, a shape-shifting goddess of war and fate. Their arrival in Ireland marks a turning point in mythological history, as they battle and eventually defeat the Fomorians, a race of monstrous beings representing chaos and darkness. What makes the Tuatha De Danann so intriguing is their ambiguous nature. After being defeated by the Milesians, the ancestors of the modern Irish, they retreat into the otherworld, a realm of Sidhe, fairy mounds, and hidden kingdoms. In later folklore, they are often equated with the Aos, fairies or spirits, suggesting that the ancient gods of Ireland never truly disappeared, but instead became part of the land's magical fabric. This blurring of the line between gods and ancestors reflects the Celtic belief in the interconnectedness of the spiritual and physical worlds.
The Morrigan is one of the most powerful and complex figures in Celtic mythology. Known as the Phantom Queen, she is a goddess of war, fate, prophecy, and sovereignty. Unlike many deities who embody a single aspect, the Morrigan is a triple goddess, often appearing as 3 sisters: Morrigan, Bab, and Nemain. Each aspect represents a different facet of her power: Bab as the crow of battle, Nemain as the frenzy of war, and Morrigan as the weaver of destinies. The Morrigan is deeply tied to the cycles of life and death. She is often depicted as a shapeshifter, taking the form of a crow, a wolf, or a beautiful woman to test the worthiness of heroes. In the Tan Bo Cualnja, the cattle raid of Cooley, she appears to the hero Cú Chulainn in various forms, foretelling his doom and influencing the outcome of battles. Her presence on the battlefield is a harbinger of death, yet she also embodies the sovereignty of the land. Kings were said to symbolically marry the Morrigan to legitimize their rule. What sets the Morrigan apart is her duality. She is both a destroyer and a protector, a bringer of doom and a guide to those who prove worthy. Her connection to crows, animals that feed on the dead, underscores her role as a psychopomp, a being that guides souls to the afterlife. In modern times, she has become a symbol of female empowerment, representing the untamed, wild aspects of nature and the divine feminine. The Morrigan is one of the most powerful and complex figures in Celtic mythology. Known as the Phantom Queen, she is a goddess of war, fate, prophecy, and sovereignty. Unlike many deities who embody a single aspect, the Morrigan is a triple goddess, often appearing as 3 sisters: Morrigan, Bab, and Naaman. Each aspect represents a different facet of her power: Bab as the crow of battle, Naaman as the frenzy of war, and Morrigan as the weaver of destinies. The Morrigan is deeply tied to the cycles of life and death. She is often depicted as a shapeshifter, taking the form of a crow, a wolf, or a beautiful woman to test the worthiness of heroes. In the Tan Bo Cualnja, the cattle raid of Cooley, she appears to the hero Cú Chulainn in various forms, foretelling his doom and influencing the outcome of battles. Her presence on the battlefield is a harbinger of death, yet she also embodies the sovereignty of the land. Kings were said to symbolically marry the Morrigan to legitimize their rule. What sets the Morrigan apart is her duality. She is both a destroyer and a protector, a bringer of doom and a guide to those who prove worthy. Her connection to crows, animals that feed on the dead, underscores her role as a psychopomp, a being that guides souls to the afterlife. In modern times, she has become a symbol of female empowerment,
representing the untamed wild aspects of nature and the divine feminine.
The Celtic otherworld is a mystical realm where time flows differently, magic is ever present, and the boundaries between life and death blur. Known by many names, Tir Nanog, Land of the Young, Mag Mel, Plain of Delight, or Avalon in Arthurian legend, it is a place of eternal youth, beauty, and abundance. Unlike the Christian heaven or the Greek underworld, the otherworld is not a reward for the virtuous, but a parallel dimension that coexists with our own. Stories of the otherworld often involve heroic journeys or accidental visits. In the tale of Oisin and Niam, the warrior Oisin is taken to Tir Nanog by the fairy princess Niam. He spends what feels like 3 years in this paradise, but when he returns to Ireland, he discovers that 300 years have passed. This theme of time distortion is common in Celtic myths, symbolizing the otherworld's detachment from mortal concerns. The otherworld is also a place of tests and trials. Heroes like Bran Mac Fibal or Conla are lured there by supernatural beings, often never to return. These stories serve as cautionary tales about the dangers of longing for immortality or abandoning one's duties in the mortal world. Yet the otherworld
Is not purely a place of danger. It is also a source of wisdom, healing, and divine inspiration. Many Celtic deities, including Manannán mac Lir, a sea god who guards the otherworld, act as guides between the two realms. The concept of the otherworld reflects the Celtic belief in the interconnectedness of all things. It is a place where the veil between worlds is thin, especially during festivals like Samhain, October 31st, when the dead and the living could communicate. This idea has had a lasting influence on modern fantasy, from Tolkien's Undying Lands to the Fey realms in contemporary literature.
Samhain is one of the most important festivals in Celtic mythology, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. Celebrated from October 31st to November 1st, it is a time when the boundary between the living and the dead is believed to be at its thinnest. This festival is the origin of many Halloween traditions, including bonfires, costumes, and the belief in spirits roaming the earth. Samhain was a liminal time, a moment of transition when the old year died and the new one began. The Celts believed that during Samhain, the Aus She, spirits or fairies, could cross into the mortal world. To honor and appease these beings, people lit bonfires on hilltops, offered food and drink, and wore costumes, often made of animal skins, to disguise themselves from malevolent spirits. These practices were meant to protect communities from harm and ensure a bountiful year ahead. The festival also had a divinatory aspect. The Celts believed that Samhain was an ideal time for fortune-telling and communicating with the dead. Druids and seers would perform rituals to glimpse the future, and families would set extra places at the table for deceased ancestors. This connection to the spirit
World is why Samhain is often called the Celtic New Year. It was a time of reflection, remembrance, and renewal. With the spread of Christianity, Samhain was gradually absorbed into All Saints' Day, November 1st, and All Souls' Day, November 2nd. However, many of its traditions survived, evolving into the modern Halloween. The jack-o'-lantern, for example, originates from the Irish tale of Stingy Jack, a trickster doomed to wander the earth with only a hollowed-out turnip lit by a coal. The Celts carved turnips, later replaced by pumpkins, to ward off evil spirits, a custom that persists today. Samhain's legacy endures as a celebration of the cycle of life and death, a reminder of the thin veil between worlds, and a testament to the Celtic reverence for nature and the unseen.